Rosie, what's the deal? It's your man Deshaun Showtime Watkins.
It is the Booker man himself, Shiloh Greaves.
It's the golden mayor that stays in your favor, Triple M.
And I'm cool as Cam, the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
And it never fails. Ladies and gentlemen, is Hulk Hogan exposed? What's up with the pay cuts? What's up with the pay cuts? Man, all that and more we talking about today in the Culture of ComptonMania. Now, Booker man, where are we starting from today?
I guess we'll start with the Hulk Hogan Netflix documentary.
Brother.
The red and yellow, the black and white, brother. So, did any of you guys see it?
I saw a couple of episodes. I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
Okay.
I'm making my way through it.
Okay.
It's rather interesting.
It is.
I saw it.
You seen it, Cam?
I haven't seen it yet. What's your take on the Shiloh?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think it was a decent rundown of his career, especially his early career. They spent a lot of time talking about his early career, like pre-WWF.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I think that the overall impact that he had on the community, our community in particular, was a little bit understated. Like, they addressed it, but it didn't seem like the full extent of that impact was really went into the depths, because I think they only really went into that. I think it was episode 3 or 4, and it was just brief. And I know it's like it doesn't deserve, like, I mean, maybe it does, but like it's like I'm not expecting a whole episode over it. But it just seemed like it was like, oh, okay, this happened, and then it just on to the next topic.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of content that's coming out right now that's like that. And I think everybody's on like that microwave, like, let's just get to the point type of shit.
Yeah.
And I watched the Michael movie, and it was kind of the same way. They skipped over a lot of things because a lot of people didn't want to be in it. And I think that could have been the same deal with the Hulk Hogan documentary. Maybe certain people didn't want to be involved, or they didn't want their name to be associated with the project.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they stayed out on purpose. So that's a good reason to breeze over certain parts of people's lives and careers and things like that.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, and I just know what Hulk Hogan meant growing up. Like, that was huge. That's part of like the reason why I'm still alive today. You know what I mean? Like, wrestling was something that
was it what he stood for? Like, what was it?
It was wrestling as a whole, but Hulkamania really.
How did it make you feel when he was a bad guy, when they made him into a bad guy?
Oh man, I thought it was the end of the world, man.
Well, that's how I first saw him. So for me, when I first started watching wrestling, that's the first villain.
What's up with it, Poe?
That's the first villain I ever saw in pro wrestling. So that was like, so it was kind of funny when all that stuff came out about him. I'm like, of course, the leader of the NWO is going to be like, come on, like, is anyone surprised
that's
here?
A heck of perspective from that situation.
So that's probably why it didn't hit me hard.
I kind of always felt that the whole take your vitamins, drink your milk, say your prayers was a given.
It was never milk. Milk was Kurt Angle.
Oh, that's right.
Hulk Hogan
mentioned some milk at some point. He was in one of those milk ads.
Maybe a commercial, maybe.
Yeah. But it's like I took all the vitamins, I said all the prayers, and I ended up like this.
You said it didn't work, man?
It didn't work, man. Flintstones didn't kick in for me.
Nah, but Hulk Hogan was like, he was like the American hero.
Yeah, and like Loki, he had his own vitamin. He had his own multivitamin.
Yeah.
Like, right? You would think like, man, Hulk Hogan at that time, at that time, at that specific time, you felt like, man, if you was going through something, Hulk Hogan brother will show up for you, brother.
Very
Like that. Yeah. You really, and you got to think that was more of a time too where wrestling was real, bro. Like people would freaking fight you.
Yeah.
If you said wrestling was not real, like that's the era that I was still growing up in. Like,
I don't know, man. People still ask me because, like, you know, they're still like not really within the wrestling community, and me, I've like kind of you know, put my foot in a little bit, right?
Yeah, put your toe.
Yeah, just put my foot in the water. See. But just kind of seeing the inside, I still tell people it's real.
Yeah,
because to me, it's real. When y'all go in the ring and y'all actually performing, that's real to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, I don't know. The selling, you know, is the difference maker.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what else Hulk Hogan represented? He also represented that if you get angry enough, you will get the job done. Like that's what I took Hulking up as.
Yeah.
Like, yo, if you just get just tired of it enough, no matter what's coming at you, you're going to have the sauce to defeat it. That's what Hulkamania was about, bro. It was dream. It was a hope that was sold to you as like Hulk Hogan was like everybody. Look, kids wanted to flex. Me and my cousin Victor. My grandma Soul, she did a Superman outfit for me, and rest in peace to Bops. She did a black Superman outfit for my cousin Victor. We wanted to be macho mans. Like they were like that's when role models were role models. Like you got to understand the time, the era. Like think about red and yellow. That's synonymous with Carl's Jr. and McDonald's. You got to think about that. Like the freaking mustache, bro. The bandana with the hair. Like it's.
Think about how long his run was.
Yeah.
Right from the minute he got that WWF, which then evolved into the WWF and WWE title. From when he got it to when Bret Hart became the guy.
Yeah.
That's like what, a good 6, 7, almost a decade?
I think because Bret, I think he won his first title at the end of 92.
Yeah.
I believe.
92.
Yeah. So that would be. Yeah, so that's like an 8-year run, and then Hogan wasn't even fully out of the picture yet.
No. Yeah, because that wasn't like WrestleMania happened, and then he had dropped it to Yokozuna, and then
and then
won it back from Yokozuna.
And then he did the whole deal in WCW. That was about a 6-year run. Yeah. He was there till pretty much the end.
He got there in what, 94?
Yeah, 94, and I think he left in 2000. Yeah. Bash at the Beach.
I was so mad that Hitman and Hogan didn't happen, though. I wanted that.
That's where his legacy. This is where Hulk's legacy gets dicey, because it's like we all heard our friend Bret talk about. We heard his thought, and a lot of people felt the same, and it's just one of those things where, when you leave an impact on people, it's just, I think that's the lesson I kind of took from it. It's just like, if you're going to get to the top, you are going to impact people, and some of those people unfortunately will be impacted negatively. You are going to step on toes if you're going to be worth a shit.
But people often overlook Hogan's work in New Japan.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
he worked a completely different style over there, because he was the outsider. He was there to learn from them, right? But I mean, say what you want about Hogan, but in my opinion, we wouldn't have pro wrestling in the form we have it is now without the contributions he made to the business.
Absolutely. And he was so simple. It was up, down, left, right.
Yep.
Punch, kick, body slam, leg drop. That's all you need. You didn't have to do
his moveset. Yeah.
Simple.
You see his moveset?
Simple.
And it's a lot of wrestlers like that, where you see their moveset and you know what's expected during the match, because you know their moveset now.
But that leg drop took a toll on him.
You're gonna see the big move. You know the leg drop coming right after.
But it's just like, think about that though. He was the first ever mega superstar wrestler.
Yeah.
He had no major moves, bro.
No, he became the first Hollywood wrestler.
Over.
Yeah.
He had literally, like, look at Hulk Hogan's, like, ladies and gentlemen,
Thunder in Paradise
of all ages, go look at Hulk Hogan's moveset. Everything
it made sense for him to sign with WCW when he did, because he was already filming in Orlando.
He was living.
He was already, you know what I mean?
There, yep.
Yeah, it made sense because you're there and they're filming in a central location. They wasn't moving at that time.
Yeah,
all their tapings were out of one place.
Yep, until they started doing the big arena shows.
Right. And that was the Ted Turner money kicked in, and they was able to, you know.
I think one thing, like the big takeaway, I think the biggest takeaway, and this is just mine personally, it's probably a little bit off from most people, but I think it's just you learn a lot about branding.
Yeah.
When you look into Hogan and just like the way Vince structured things around Hogan, the way it was. He was built up over that. Like, that's how you build a baby face.
Yeah,
that's how you
like
build a bit. So it's like, that's like the ideal template. So like, if you're a promoter and you find your guy who you're going to be like, okay, I'm putting all the chips on you. You kind of, I say you look to the Hulk Hogan template that they used. So that was,
like a real life creator wrestler.
Yeah. Well, you know, they you know, Hogan, God, he was big as he was
6'8".
6'8". Yeah, he was a big guy. I think he was over 300 at that point. So, you know, it's like he was a big. So it's like, you know, they had the layout, but it's also just the branding. It's like, you know, like how you're talking about the McDonald's red and yellow branding. It's like just small things like that. You know, it's like, okay, what's the number one thing right now? Put that in, you know, and just they put a lot of pop culture aspects of the time of the 80s. Like, you know, like for example, Hogan, he talked about how he wasn't political, but in the 80s, everybody was a Republican. Everybody was, like, you know, like everybody like Ronald Reagan, let's go. Everyone loved America. We were in the middle of the Cold War, you know, so it was like, it was a different time.
Yeah.
The Iranian crisis with the
that too. Yeah. So it's just like, and it was just, you know, it would like that was just the culture.
G.I. Joe action figures. That's the Sylvester Stallone era.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like that's a whole like period in time. That's what Hulk Hogan represented. Like,
and that's the thing about wrestling is the way. This is why I credit McMahon with was he knew how to create a character for the times. Like, you know, like the pivot to Brett. It was still. It was the right pivot, but Brett was still very 80s. He was an 80s star that was pushed in the 90s.
Right.
Whereas, you know, Stone Cold, that was the 90s star.
Yeah.
You know, so like Brett was like that bridge from the 80s to the 90s, whereas Austin, he went from the 90s.
I think Shawn was the bridge.
Yeah.
From the 80s to 90s.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Because Shawn was phenomenal.
I look at him as a bridge from
the 90s.
I see him as a bridge from 90s to thousands.
Pre or post Jesus?
Pre-Jesus.
I just think the style. I think that the style Shawn worked in the 90s was ahead of its time.
Yeah,
and I think that was very.
I look more at the character though when it comes down to the promos they was doing.
Yeah.
Character. Definitely
you know,
80s.
Shawn Michaels
very
was like
80s.
That early 90s MTV era.
Yes.
You know, you got Pamela Anderson coming out with shit like that. You know, the Jenny McCarthy, all that type of.
He walked out with both of them.
Yeah.
Quick question. Piss Off says, who do you think had an effective finisher? Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, Bret Hart, or Ric Flair?
Probably Undertaker. I mean, he's dropping you right on your head.
Yeah, that tombstone is one of those deadliest.
Yeah,
you know, I find it rather curious.
But I think the sharpshooter
was the everybody.
And we was all doing that.
Everybody in the sharpshooter.
Or figure four.
Yeah, it was one of the two.
Yeah.
I find it a little biased that Piss Off would mention the Stone Cold Stunner, considering he tried to use that move on me.
Anyway, stay on top.
Okay.
So Hulk Hogan. Now let's talk about the bombshell when he dropped the N-word, bro. Like, how did that impact you guys?
For me, it was
right on brand because
it was like I said, it was right on brand. I'm like, the man was raised in 1950s Florida. You know, I'm like, okay, it checks out. So I wasn't surprised.
This is the same man that came out with Mr. T at the WrestleMania. And
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what, you know, and then it's like, you know, he's He's done work with black wrestlers in the past, you know, so it's like it's hard.
And the homie Debo say nothing but positive things.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, a lot of guys. Yeah,
coming for you, nigga.
yeah, like a lot of guys
say good things too.
Yeah, a lot of guys had positive experiences with him, but it was just
I think
he went out of pocket.
He was just talking about his daughter. You know, I don't think he was really talking about you in general. I think he was just talking.
He said something like, "I'm afraid that in my next life, my karma, like I'm going to be reincarnated as a black person for like my like." He was saying,
"Oh damn,"
he was saying some crazy stuff
like that.
Here's the thing about it though. Was that a setup interview that he did? Was that an established interview, or was that somebody recording him without his knowledge?
I think it was recorded without his knowledge, but regardless,
you said it.
And bro,
you said it.
No, right. But I mean,
it's out there.
We've all said some crazy stuff after after what he
not
did.
crazy like that.
And that's the unfair thing. But
you still said it. We ain't gonna forget.
I tried, Hope.
And that's and even though that was quote unquote Terry Bollea, it's like Hulk Hogan said that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I mean, look. Disney got rid of Jonathan Majors for his controversy, and Kang has been erased from the Marvel.
Yeah, that was more like on some domestic abuse type.
No, but it's a similar thing. Like just because
that was only because he was black, though.
No, we've seen others get canceled, but it's still the same thing. Like you have a responsibility to the character that you're portraying. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you have a responsibility to your platform, not even just the character.
Sometimes
you just have
things is out of your control, though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is why you got to be careful as a wrestler. You know who you're laying down with, who you're, because that's all it takes. It's just one hit of the button on the phone, whatever.
Somebody else could be having a bad day, and then they take it out on you.
Yep,
brother. Like that whole situation was a kerfuffle from the beginning. Like the homie invited you over to make a video with your wife.
That was kind of
that was a setup from the beginning.
That was pretty wild. That whole setup was. I forgot about that actually.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, so apparently his friend did like call him over to mess with his wife, but regardless,
So wait a minute. This guy is like, I want to watch Hulk Hogan just win on my chick.
Kind of, yeah.
Hogan out there like that. They call it. Well, never mind.
Yeah,
it's not that kind of.
Yeah,
stuff.
no, Hogan.
No, let's talk about that.
Yeah, no, like Hogan
you
basically.
To see Hogan Hulk up.
I think, yeah, and I think
on his wife.
Hey, bro, you wanted to see that 24-inch python?
Yeah.
Oh man,
no, so they have a term for him, but
yeah, no, and I think that it was after the divorce. And Hogan was down and out, so he was like, "Hey, you want to?"
Hogan sounds so perverted.
You probably got paid for that too.
Yeah, you want to? I don't know. But they just he's like, "Hey,
got paid too."
No, because they be getting paid for shit like that.
He's like, "You want to have some fun with my wife?" And then that's where that.
Oh, brother.
And then I forget kind of how it unfolds from there.
Bro,
I know there's a whole documentary on that alone, but that's like
I tell you, bro, that the Hulkster got that PNC, bro.
Here's the thing.
PNC.
Nobody holds a gun to your head and tells you to say the things that he said.
Oh,
so that's
he got honeypotted.
He said that.
Honeypotted.
He got honeypotted.
Damn.
He.
They used the oldest CIA tactic in the book.
The oldest CIA tactic.
They should. That's wild.
It is a CIA tactic, but
okay. So where we landing our plane at with Hogan? Like where we?
Hogan, I think two things can be true at once. He was the brother. He was a great babyface, a great heel, but he also he had some pretty messed up views, and unfortunately for a lot of us out there, a lot of wrestlers from his era hold similar views. So, it's kind of that's just how it is. You can't change it. Things are different now. And yeah, that's all I can say.
We can thank him for the term. That doesn't work for me, brother.
And it's wild. It's just like, I know I done said some crazy shit before back in the days online. I done said some wild shit.
How you find out your Facebook memories?
Yeah, bro, man. Twitter type. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I said that.
That's just on this.
You be embarrassed.
And 2011 tweets will get you, man.
Man, like,
That's why I always stood off of Twitter.
You be like, these hoes ain't shit.
man. Then you become so far removed from it. It's like, so be careful what you post online.
Like, damn, I was that one back.
Back in 1992, you wrote this in someone's yearbook.
Yep.
You can't erase it.
Shit. Somebody already got a picture of it wants to go viral. You know how it go when they delete the video. Somebody,
Yeah.
I got it though. I got it.
Too late. Yeah.
Once it's on the internet,
It's over
It's
with.
there.
there
man.
forever.
It's over
So
with.
moving on,
Okay.
because that was a great
Pay cuts.
pay cuts, man.
Is it TKO or is it WWE? Who's giving the pay cuts
It's
out?
seeming like it's TKO. I mean, we have a screenshot, don't we, Cam, of
Let's talk chili.
what's going on with these percentages.
Percentages, numbers.
Yeah.
He said we breaking down numbers.
But basically, there was a lot of releases this week.
Yep.
It's and the thing is, I feel like the list of releases gets bigger every year.
Yep.
Because they sign so many people every year. And I think that what we're seeing is a symptom of talent hoarding. You sign all these people, and that's why sometimes I say, it's like getting signed in this day and age. Of course, that's what you want. You want to strive towards that, but it just doesn't carry the same weight it did before because so many people are being signed. And it's like all of a sudden you get put into this shuffle. And once you get lost in that shuffle, it's very hard to get yourself out of it. And more guys get lost in the shuffle than get out of the shuffle. So that's where it's like,
I mean, it's ultra competitive at that level. And
well, no, like for example, JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb, he's an Olympian, like that guy, getting cut less than a year in to his run. Like that's insane because I remember whenever I'd go to NorCal, everyone would look at him as like, this is going to be the guy that's going to be just the face of the region for years. And then, it's like that happens. So, so amid reports that some WWE talent were asked to take pay cuts by as much as 50%, how were some top TKO and WWE executives compensated year over year, determined by TKO Board Comp Committee? 2025 versus 2024. Ari Emanuel saw an increase of 272%.
Damn.
Mark Shapiro saw an increase of 33%.
Wow. Nice. That's nice.
Nick Khan saw an increase of 304%.
Brother, let me get $1.
Yeah. So this is not looking good for the WWE product. It's looking just because that's the one thing that I think that's the number one topic in society right now, corporate greed. And I think that so many people, and that's really been the topic for the last decade or so, honestly. Corporate greed, big pharma greed, everything, so it's like there's so much.
There used to be a time where going to a wrestling show, a WWE show, was an affordable thing for a family, right? Mm-hmm. It was a chance for the kids to see the wrestlers up close. It was a chance for you to relive childhood memories and make an experience, right? Mm-hmm. Now with these prices, these outrageous prices, right? Mm-hmm. I agree with you that the depth chart is just too deep. They have too many talents.
What's up, Bill Chew?
Right? Bill Chew, that's a famous name right there.
Yeah.
Shout out to TWE. But I just think, you have your WWE ID program. Mm-hmm. You've got Evolve. You've got LFG. You've got NXT. You've got AAA. You've got SmackDown. You've got Raw. There's got to be a way to spread them all out.
Well, each one got to be its own product.
Well, I
think that's what it is, right?
Well, and the thing is, they do have their own product, but then it's like there's so many products. There's so many products that they're trying to put out.
Wembanyama went off.
Did he?
Playoff block record.
Yes. Go Wemby.
Okay,
go Spurs.
So
yeah, no, but
you would think, right? In a perfect world, we could have wrestling on TV every day of the week, right? In some shape or form. But have options, not seeing the same people every day of the week.
Right.
So if they did something like that to where it made sense, you already got, like we said, Evolve. What's that on Tubi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have Evolve, they have AAA, and it's like, yes, they do all have their own flavor, so to speak, but at the same time, they don't. And a lot of these shows are just presenting wrestling, and that's where it's like.
So you saying more storylines?
That's the thing. Like now, like so back when we were growing up, there was, I think the roster of WWE as a whole was only about like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
You know, like probably even less.
Yeah.
So
they didn't have all of these other. You had Raw. We had Sunday Night Heat.
Yep.
You know,
Shotgun Saturday Night.
well,
Appreciate
for a while, but it was still the same people. Even Sunday Night Heat was the pre-show for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're
Appreciate
still
you,
getting
Michael.
like
True.
prime time matches on Sunday Night Heat. For the longest, we still got at least a championship match.
On Heat, yeah. And then you had Velocity, and I feel like when like with those shows, you're still looking at a total of only about 6 hours of TV a week. You know, so that was what. And when you have less, and it just goes back to less being more. That's why you had more stars. You know, that's, you know, Randy Orton. That's why they still hold on to him so dearly, because he's the only guy that the audience has some sort of emotional connection to from like a nostalgic standpoint, because he got to benefit from a smaller roster. And
The last left of that generation.
basically, yeah.
I mean, like you said, like it's too many people in the kitchen. There's going to be cuts. So
Yes.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
You don't have room to even give everybody TV time.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not fair to the people that are there that's just sitting in the back waiting for some type of like spot, or waiting for, you know, oh, y'all got something for me today, but they still got to show up and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And this could actually be beneficial for the talent too, as well. I mean, you don't want to lose your money. You don't want to get cut, but it's a chance to go back, revitalize yourself, and come back even stronger.
I mean,
Or
look
you
at
know
Leo
somewhere
Rush.
that can
And you
actually
can-
put you on TV.
Leo Rush is so over, man. Leo Rush is I love Leo Rush.
I think that this helps. I think WWE releasing a lot of people helps wrestling as a whole. It does something to the wrestling economy, though, because you have all these people being released out into the indies. They're going to be looking
love
for
and respect.
They're going to be looking for these big paydays. They're going to be looking, you know, and it's like they're going to be looking to be flown. So it's like it's one of those things where it just makes me wonder, like, okay, where's the direction of wrestling going as a whole? Because when these guys are getting pay bumps of 300%, well, they're already sitting at, you know,
Millions and millions. And millions of dollars.
8-digit, you know, paydays. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, but they were getting that type of money to really not even be on TV. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them were getting paid, and they didn't have nothing. Like there was no type
That's
of
very
storyline
true
for them.
That's very true. And that's definitely a symptom of the talent hoarding.
But then you go to like a JC and like, you know, some of these other people who are somewhat in a storyline, it's like y'all right there with Solo. So now what's gonna happen to that storyline? How are y'all gonna make that play out?
They took like half the group
So,
away.
Speaking of affecting the wrestling economy, after the 90-day non-competes expire, who do we start seeing show up at, you know, MLW and AEW and Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
Like it's going to change that landscape. We also have Lucha Underground.
But then
coming back.
even AEW, they're starting to talent hoard their damn self. Like they have a lot of people just sitting on the shelf doing nothing.
You
So
think
it's
about
like,
it, when you're at their standpoint, you have to. That's all you have is talent hoarding, because it's like only a limited amount of wrestling shows that's getting airtime.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
And-
just like a lot of times you got to take talent just so you don't have it.
and we talk
I
about
can't
the
let you
companies
get it.
talent hoarding, right? But what about from the wrestler standpoint? You got a contract, you sign, so now you there, but they don't have nothing for you. What do?
you literally
You go in
just
there
sit
with
there.
a grievance and say, "Oh, you know, like
You gather dust.
but you got a contract, you know.
you
It's
got
like,
your
so
downside
you say,
guarantee.
because the whole point is to work there. That's what, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're trying to be at the on the platform.
Yeah.
You at the platform, but they don't got nothing for you right now, you know?
Real quick, y'all. Bill Chu says, if I had the money, I won the lottery, I booked them, even you, Shiloh.
Oh God. Even me. Thanks, Bill. Awesome.
But yeah, that's what I'm. So we got another one, right?
Yeah, zoom in onto that too, Ken. Go ahead, Shiloh.
Oh, okay. So this was tonight on Raw. Tonight on Raw, Logan Paul, I guess in the middle of his promo, he said, "I am unfireable. TKO cannot fire me because that is bad business." And he ain't lying. But so then I guess this guy here, I don't know who this guy is. He says, "I don't know, man. 2 weekends in a row, just over a couple dozen wrestlers released and a bunch more being asked to take pay cuts from the multi-billion-dollar company that has no problem touting their record profits and revenue. Maybe just a tad bit tone deaf." So,
see, now here's the thing. Did he go into business for himself or is it a work?
Well, here's the thing. One thing about WWE is they are not afraid to spite, and this can always just be a shot that could have been sent from higher up.
Yeah.
It could have been, it could have been him going into business for himself. Regardless, I feel like they're going to be possibly starting to build an angle around this. So expect more of this, so that this can just possibly be a part of the work. But I do think that this here, if they're going to go this direction, they have to be like.
They just showed us with WrestleMania. So with all the celebrity, factor they was trying to add with WrestleMania, we know everything behind that was TKO, right? Immediately after we get releases.
Well, I almost went to I almost went there.
He's not going nowhere. He's a celebrity.
What?
Yeah, no, they definitely Logan ain't going nowhere.
Ain't going nowhere, right?
Oh yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
I thought you were talking about Mania prices.
No.
Yeah.
Anybody with celebrity status, somebody that's like gonna get them views,
yeah,
get eyes on the product, they're gonna keep there.
Absolutely, yeah. And then the thing is, you saw them bring Speed in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much Logan Paul played a part in Speed's training, but I'm telling you, once these celebrities
Speed looked amazing.
Once these celebrities are able to train these guys, it is going to be a cold day for a lot of wrestlers. But you know what?
You're gonna have to. Come with it.
Wrestlers are gonna end up forming their own deal. They're gonna end. So it's like that's what I mean.
Do you see a wrestlers union coming?
No wrestlers union, because if these guys, here's the thing, wrestlers. The reason why wrestlers and MMA fighters both get exploited so much is because they are so financially illiterate. They just don't have a clue how to handle their money, and it's very easy to exploit them. So what happens is, that's why you can tell a pro wrestler in the middle of his contract, hey, you want to take 50% pay cut? Like only a wrestler or MMA fighter would accept something like that. You go to a baseball player, a basketball player, they will laugh you out of that room.
That's what the union is for.
Their agents will put their foot in your ass over that. Yeah. So it's like, that's where it's like.
The union is to make sure that don't happen.
No, the thing is, wrestlers know.
You a deal like
this is where we go back to our friend Hulk Hogan, because Jesse Ventura was trying to create a union. Apparently, they were about to do a walkout before WrestleMania 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Hogan went to McMahon, stooged everyone out, and McMahon basically called everyone's bluff. Like, if you guys do this union, I'm firing all of you, and I will replace you. And they pretty much all tuck their tail between, and that's the thing about wrestlers. It's like they talk big, but they don't really stand on.
You there already, and you got a contract. So what you gonna do?
Yeah, like they don't really stand on their values. So that moment came for them already. I think that was 1986. That was the year wrestling changed. 86.
Let's follow this train of thought of celebrities beginning to train as wrestlers and coming into the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I know with the fans that I interact with on like TikTok and the communities I'm in, they are upset seeing celebrities come into the WWE atmosphere. So do you see this being beneficial for the independent scene where wrestlers are homegrown and real wrestling is happening?
I think it's going to be beneficial to just local in general. I think it's going to become I think wrestling is very slowly reverting back to like a 60s, 70s type of territorial.
Let me ask y'all this. Do you feel like wrestling is too mainstream?
And that's where I think, and that's why I think it's going to become a more localized thing, where it's like, the LA wrestling community is going to become a much bigger thing because it's going to be so localized. Yeah. So LA people are just going to be more focused. Okay, what's going on in my city's wrestling scene opposed to what's going on the national, stage. Yeah. And I think it's going to happen to all scenes.
I think with WWE, they kind of like the Olympics, where you're going to see the best of the best of the best at that time, at that situation. But wrestling is about to explode even more. It's about to make even more billions of dollars. So just know, like, every culture from all over the world do wrestling a little bit differently. And I'm telling you right now, like, just like you see the what is it, soft ground wrestling?
Oh yeah, Uganda. Yep.
Uganda, like Ugandan, you some beasts.
Yeah,
like that is hard. You have the whole
that'd be a great collab.
Countryside come out. That's what it's about. Like that's how you find those different gyms.
Uganda mania.
You can tell so many different stories. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, keep on. Let's go back to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I think that, like a Logan Paul, he's going to be kept there. Guys like Speed, they're going to be, like, since he already showed out,
he could already work.
Yeah, like he's going to be kept around. So it's like it's going to become this more, I don't know, it's going to turn into like celebrity death match. You guys remember that?
Yep. That'd be fun.
That's kind of where I see WWE becoming.
I mean, it's evolving.
Yeah,
so
that's the
like
thing.
1 year WrestleMania being two celebrities and not even two
look,
wrestlers.
WrestleMania is supposed to be Superman versus the Incredible Hulk. What are we talking about?
Well,
this is like
celebrity deathmatch.
Exactly.
But it goes back to what Cam said. It's like, did WrestleMania become too mainstream? Because one thing is, a big thing people complained about Mania was there was only about, I think on night one, it was an hour and 46 minutes of wrestling and the rest of it was commercials.
Yeah.
Look here.
So it's like there was that.
I hear y'all, but look at here. No, hold on. I hear that, but bump that. If I'm getting the funds from them advertisements, you support my brand, you going to watch these damn commercials.
Watch this out. The Super Bowl didn't become mainstream until Michael Jackson did the halftime.
Exactly. And once you get the Michael Jackson plug, you plug in the Michael Jackson.
So you know what? I don't know if it was so much the commercials.
You see how many lights they have, dog? If you just look at the WWE lights,
gets to
from how they started to now, they got every kind of light, production, sound.
Remember when they first introduced the Titantron?
It gets to the point where it's too mainstream. It's too overproduced.
Yeah.
It's too many logos.
Once Pandora's out the box, it's over with.
Yes and no.
Back. It's over with.
Pandora can get out the box, but when the box gets destroyed,
Did we ever talk about them putting the logo on the mat?
What happened?
Did we ever talk about them putting the logo on the mat?
Honestly, that's not so much an issue to me. The logo on the mat doesn't really bother me. I think it's more like when you start pulling out a table.
Well, I think it was
there's a big old Slim Jim logo on the table. It's like, come on, man. Like, yeah, it's too much.
Hey, but if that's an opportunity to get them chips, I'm doing it. I don't care.
I get it.
Brands you want to holler at Compton, you want your brand on the table, holler at ComptonMania. Go to ComptonMania.com. Go to ComptonMania on Instagram. Put your brand on our shit. We need your chili. Let's go.
I get the business behind it. I totally understand the business behind it. I think WWE they are basically going to run this thing into the ground until their audience punishes them. And they're basically like the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls, the reason why they have been awful since Michael Jordan left is because Bulls fans continue to reward.
That's why.
Derrick Rose was tight.
No. Well, the thing
Rose was vicious.
No, it's just what happened was
there was a Mamba on the West Side.
No,
that's why Chicago.
No, our fans continuously rewarded that organization with their ticket sales. No matter how bad the team got, they kept buying tickets.
It's because Jordan was Hulk Hogan, and he had the red and black, though.
Now they've reached a point. That's why they fired their whole front office twice in the last few years, because now they finally reached the point where the fans they stop showing up. And it's like Pandora came out the box when Michael hit Chicago, but now it's a whole. Now it's like, okay,
you can't fill seats. Now you're not selling tickets. You can't pay the bills in the arena. Now you lose the arena.
And that's where I think WWE, they're basically going to,
because there was the United Center, right, or United Airlines Arena or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and WWE is basically going to run this advertising thing into the ground. They like the fans are going to complain, but until they actually stop buying the tickets, and it's fun. So going back to what I was saying about Mania. I feel bad for anyone that bought a Mania ticket in December because 2 hours before that show, they were selling them both nights for like $115.
Yeah, they had to cut the price.
Oh yeah, but it's also just like that last minute deal. Like, oh man, like they're selling it for 20%. So it's like the whole thing becomes a scam.
How many Manias have you been to?
I only went to one, and that was.
Was it better to go or was it better to watch it?
See, I went to Mania. This was before they went crazy with stadiums. So, like, the Mania I went to was that was at Staples Center.
How was it? It was great.
I was glad that I went because that was a historic night. That was the night Cena and Batista both got crowned. It was the night the first Money in the Bank. Ray and Eddie had a fucking banger. Randy and Taker had a banger. Shawn and Kurt had a banger.
Oh, you was at that night?
Yeah. So it was like it was
son of a gun.
It was and. What's funny is those were also bought for very cheap. Those tickets were only about they were nosebleeds, but they're only about $105
wow.
each. So
Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle for $105.
Oh, that was such a good, like just being there in person. That was a great show.
One of my all-time favorite matches. That was Shawn said that Kurt Angle was the one guy that took him to the limits.
Yeah. So I feel like I went to that Mania. Haven't been to one since. I came very close to going to this one, but I'm glad I didn't.
Mania? Well, how many Manias you went to?
None.
Yeah, me neither. How about you, Cam? No.
Yes. I can't go without my eldest daughter.
Yeah, no, it's a bucket list thing for sure.
Definitely.
And I know when it comes back to the States, apparently they are going forward with Saudi. So, we're going a year without a Mania here. I think we don't deserve another one for a minute on the West Coast.
You think they're gonna charge for the what is it called? Premium live event package? Like, are they gonna increase the price since it's not here and it's overseas?
So one thing is the Saudi thing. The catch on Saudi is your flight is gonna screw you over, but the hotels there are really cheap. So you could get like a 5-star hotel there for like a crazy cheap price. I think like $50-$80 a night, something like that. So it's very
so we should go to
but for us, the average person, right?
Yeah,
that we not going out there and we just watching.
I'm not going to Saudi,
right? If we just watching on TV, right?
Say if we was to go,
do you think they would like increase the price because it's not in the States, like on the pay-per-view?
That's what they got the ESPN partnership.
No, because the thing is, we're all going to be having to wake up at like, what time is Mania going to be on next year?
At 3 a.m.
Well, you know what's what we kind of, because the rest of the world has to deal with it. The UK, they have to wake up at that time every year for us. So, yeah, that's kind of the dealio there.
The joy of live streaming.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, okay. That's great. So
that's
we
a show
about that. So, whoa.
Oh.
Whoa. Wait a minute. We've got
Flavor Fest.
Yeah, Mike.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Yeah, he over here hollering and shit.
That was right in my ear.
The mayor.
I got excited for Flavor Fest.
It was left in my ear.
and also wrestling for Bayburn. Tell people what's happening.
Yes, there's 2 events going on. We have Flavor Fest May 16th. What time is this at?
Damn, where the flyer go? Oh, damn, it ain't on there.
Yeah, well,
it's on the flyer. I think no,
I do not see it on the flyer.
I think it's 1 to 9.
Okay, 1 to 9. So this is like an all-day thing.
Yeah.
At Thunder Studios,
Long Beach. Yeah,
that's tight.
It's gonna be family friendly. You know, everybody can come out. Be kids on. Gonna be all different types of food.
It looks good, man.
Tommy the Clown gonna come out.
Oh, okay.
Do this.
And then
we got RJ performing.
Ooh,
we're gonna have definitely some good stuff.
And then that very same night at 7:30, Knox Pro will be running in Sun Valley. lots of big matches going on. I'll be going one-on-one with Alpha Zoe. Don't miss that. Match of the year candidate. And then the following week, we are running Wrestling from Burbank, also out of the Knox Pro Domain Event Center in Sun Valley. Be sure to get your tickets. They are going fast. I'll be going one-on-one with a 7-foot anomaly, Alex Ace. And he won't be the first giant to fall at my feet. Booker man up, always. Yeah. So that May's looking like a pretty busy month.
Back to back. Huh?
Back to back, yeah. And then we got Memorial Day weekend. And then we head towards our next event.
And then the following week
At the Domain Event Center.
There
we go. Mm-hmm.
We have Wrestling for the Cats and Dogs put on by Afterglow Productions, Roxy Astor, and all her great friends. We're trying to help these pets get homes and not face the fate that most other pets face at shelters. So help us. Come bring your cat, your dog. It's going to be a great time.
Wow. So I'm in Sun Valley every weekend.
Adoptions? Is that what you said? For pets?
I don't know if we're going to be doing adoptions. I can ask Roxy, but we're definitely trying to raise funds to help these animals find homes because, you know, having a dog or a cat is a great privilege.
Yeah, like what if somebody just say, "Hey, I got a home for the animal. Y'all got to find one." You know, like
we'll figure it all out, but we can't figure it out unless you show up May 30th at the Domain Event Center for Knox Pro.
There we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Asking questions.
He's excited. He's like, I want a
dog, man.
You want a dog?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I want to adopt one.
What
I gotta come pay for it. I gotta come pay for it.
You're trying to get a dog, right?
You know what? We can make that happen. We can make that happen.
Yeah, but they gotta
wow.
I want a puppy though. Like I don't want a fully grown dog because they're not gonna know me already.
No, they're holding them hostage, man.
Yeah,
you gotta.
So guys, listen. I need y'all to do this. I need y'all to hype this video. There's a hype button if you're on YouTube. Hype it. Go to Innovative Culture. Innovative Culture. Look, subscribe. We're a couple of subscribers away from getting to 1,000. So we need you guys to subscribe, like, man. Even after this live is over with, if you share the video, comment under it. That's how we able to get some chili. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you. Thank you. Hit those likes. Appreciate y'all. Yo, Bill Chu, we got to get you on too one day, man. We got to
Bill Chu
phone Bill in. If it wasn't for Bill, I wouldn't even be in the wrestling business.
Facts.
Bill was at the first wrestling show I ever went to. I think it was an AWS event. That's where I saw Sean Black and stuff like that. So, and Bill came to Summer Night Lights.
You and I met at one of Bill's Chu shows. That was at the TWE.
Yeah.
That's when he was running out of OCCW. That's when you and I met. And I've been a pain in ComptonMania ever since.
Trivs, fire salute, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Listen, make sure that y'all follow us. We doing this every Monday. We working on it. We getting this mess better by the week. Next week, yo, I'm not even gonna mention who might be here, but it's gonna be a banger. You don't want to miss it. It's your man Deshaun Showtime Watkins.
It's the Booker man himself, Shiloh Greaves.
It's the mayor that stays in your favorite Triple M.
And I'm Cool Ass Cam, the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
What's it?
This is Mr. Piss Off, the foul-mouthed son of a bitch. Must-see face, the most corrupted man, the most hated man, the most despised man in sports today. All I want you to do is click, like, subscribe, and share. And that's the bottom line. Mr. Piss Off said so.